farming is part of agriculture, but agriculture is a lot more than just farming. And we try to focus on the science that goes behind agriculture and all of those sorts of things, and try to be a real interactive class.
Well, the Agriculture Mechanics program is a very practical approach to mechanics, mathematics, science. It's all related together, very much applied, and we do everything from woodworking to welding, small engines, electrical, everything you could possibly need for a career in any of those areas or in just owning your own home. And so it's a very useful class that I spend much of your time working in our shops or out on our barn, working with animals and the applied mechanics that goes along with those.
A lot of the things that they're prepared for is going into the agriculture field or just some useful knowledge that they could use as a homeowner. For instance, a lot of our students go into fields like landscape design or turf grass management. Very few of our students go on to actually farm. Some of the students that don't go into, say, the agricultural field will do something, you know, the things that they'll learn in this part of the class could be useful as homeowners, you know, whether they're doing a little bit of landscaping at home or being able to take care of some animals or things like that.
This year I had students build woodworking projects, everything from Adirondack chairs to a nice gun cabinet that they made this year. We also made a large mobile chicken coop. And we're getting ready to redo our barn, we're getting ready to redo our greenhouse, and so they'll get plumbing and woodworking and all those different experiences there.
Well, the greenhouse is a big project that we have every year. We have a big plant sale in the spring, we have a fruit sale, we do a lot of fundraising, agri-science fair projects, different things like that. My upper level students tend to take care of a lot of the facilities here. We work on the baseball field in part a lot. Are able to do the turf grass end of our program with something like that as much hands-on as we can. But we also do some landscape design projects as well, learning how to draw properly, using correct symbols and plant care, and as you know, the plants themselves.
My number one favorite would probably be the different types of plants that we have around here, and some of them I actually planted myself. We do every single step on our own, which of course we are showed how to do it.
It's a great program because it does prepare students for college, because we do cover your math, science, and different standards just in a very real way, so it makes more sense to a lot of our students. It also prepares students to go straight into the working world if they'd rather, whether it be through an internship program or to some sort of other program that's non-traditional as far as a 2-year or 4-year college. So no matter which pathway our students want to go out of high school, they're going to be prepared for it.
It's different because a lot of classes, like, you're basically in the classroom and it's usually bookwork, which ag is no bookwork and you're hands-on with everything.
The FFA is the largest student-run organization, and it covers very many facets, whether it's animal science, whether it's plant science, and in this area it's going to be in mechanics. My students are very involved with FFA. They learn leadership skills, how to work together as a team, but also how to work to get on their own individually, which is very important in the working world and moving on from this day forward. We learn camaraderie, we work together and play together, and so we have a lot of good fun together.
It should be something that the student can enjoy, something that they can come in and get their hands dirty and actually learn a little bit and have a good time in the process.
A lot of my kids come in, they want to try out. They start off at architecture and may move over to technical drafting with mechanical engineering.
I'm actually trying to look for a thing to do in college, and I've actually thought about doing architect when I get older.
We use design situations to help students learn how to design and how to think. So a lot of times when they get drawings, things are left off the drawings on purpose, so they actually learn how to think about what they need to do next in the drawing.
Instead of learning how to draw a blueprint, we're using the computer to do it instead. We tried to do a airplane, an F-22. That was probably the funnest one we've done.
It's pretty much they come in and just find out where they want to be.
Basically, in the construction class here, we try to teach about the jobs in the industry.
We represent carpentry, masonry, plumbing, and electrical, as well as welding and just various parts of the construction business.
We try to give them a little knowledge of the saws, how to use them, safety.
After we get done with all our book work, we go out in the shop and we work on such things as picture frames, housing. We try to help out the school by putting picture frames up of sports, anything like that.
It's something fun to do. You get to try different things. You learn if you're good at it. You find what you're not good at.
When you're later on in life, when you're sitting around house and you need something done, you don't have to call someone to do it. You can do it yourself.
Graphic design is more focused on the artistic side of it. Designing, creating things. It can be posters, product design. It can fit into TV. Just anything. Graphic design is everything. It's all around us. It influences everything in the world. The general definition is communication through visual means, which is everything. There's nothing in the world that has not been touched by graphic design somehow. The other side is printmaking. Some choose offset printing. At Hiram, we choose screen printing. We'll do t-shirts, posters. We even do sandwich bags. Just different stuff of screen printing and creating different designs and outputs.
As far as screen printing goes, I've learned like how to set up things, the actual process in making and designing t-shirts.
I actually want my career to be in graphic design and industrial design. I want to design cars, so I kind of stick with it.
In intro, they're mostly graphic design. It focuses on learning the softwares, Adobe Illustrator, Adobe Photoshop. Those are the two main softwares used by the industry, and they use them every day. They'll learn typography, design layout, really getting to know the graphic arts side of it. In second year, it's all print design. You'll learn all about the print processes, the different printing styles, learning how to print, the techniques. It's a lot of hands-on. Intros, there's drawing involved.
Since my freshman year, I've actually screen printed the most considered out of all the students here. Maybe a little bit over 500 shirts, all colors.
With printing after Photoshop, learning how to burn screens and even just make shirts was just a fascinating experience to me, and showing me how I can actually make a career out of it.
Favorite thing that I've printed is probably the towels for our student section. It was nice to be able to have everybody swinging them around and things and know that I was the one that designed them and printed those.
It offers many markets in the career pathway, but also it will teach you many things that you'll need to learn later on in life, as well as just being fun.
It can be applied to everything. At some point, you're going to have to do a resume. At some point, you're going to do a PowerPoint presentation.
It actually made me decide my career for college as well as later on in life, showing me the possibilities.
Regardless of what field you're going into, you're going to use these tools somehow. If all it uses is to create an edge against your competition to get a job, you still can use them.
The Intro to Business and Technology class is going to give kids a survey of all functions of business. Also some personal aspects. We're looking at checking accounts and savings accounts right now, and budgeting. We'll look at credits and credit scores and credit reports and what that means for an individual. But we also look at the management side and the business side, looking at leadership and then the management functions. We look at the accounting side of the business. We look at entrepreneurship, what that means, how to start your own business. So we look at all different aspects of businesses. Legal environment of business, also known as business law. We look at more of the detailed legal side of issues. Like when we talk about credit and intro class, now on the business law side we're looking at when you do go into bankruptcy, what a business can do in bankruptcy, what that means, as well as an individual too. So we look at all aspects, personal and business side. The entrepreneurship class, the culminating class, is we take all that information and students actually create their own business. They write a detailed business plan throughout the entire semester. And they have to do their research. They have to look at real estate and actually find a location. They have to call realtors to get the prices of the rent or the mortgage if they were to purchase that building. And they have to do the whole product line, their service line. They have to go into detail on every aspect.
The first two classes, I teach them like how to run a business, how to hire and fire employees, how to maintain a profit, how to like do sales reports, and within that we use Word, Excel, Access, and PowerPoint. And then we also do things in Publisher as well. In the third class, Business Communication, I teach them how to present business information to their customers and clients so that they can make the most profit possible.
This pathway can prepare students for any career, because we look at aspects if you were an employee or if you were an employer. And I would say that all my students, and it's one thing I ask them on the first day, how many of you want to be working one day? Whether for yourself or for someone else, you're going to be working, because we look at salary versus wages, we look at gross income versus net income. So they learn all aspects that will help them in the future for almost any career. But more so than any others is knowing how to start your own business, knowing the process to go through, what laws apply, what licenses you have to, and permits that you have to pick up.
Any businessman or businesswoman really and truly need these skills in order to make a decent living.
Well, in this pathway of business and technology, we've learned a lot about word processing software and just the business world in general, how to be better businessmen, to have better employee skills.
We learn a lot of the business fundamentals, communication skills, just everything that's required to, become a businessman and, pursue that career.
We have students who get certified in Microsoft Word in the intro class, and then as they go into the higher levels, they can do Excel, they can do PowerPoint, and we had 29 students this year get some type of certification, if not 2 or 3 certifications in different programs.
It's a very fun class. I mean, I love it. If you love the business part of the world, then you should definitely take this class.
It's just given me the information that I need to one day pursue this career.
Anyone who's interested in, really with any of the business pathways, if you're going to be in the workplace one day, it's beneficial, especially with the Microsoft Office certifications. I've had several speakers come in and say that's one thing they look for on the resume. And 2, with entrepreneurship, is if you really want to start your own business, even now as a teenager or in the future, you're getting those skills now.
So this is the Teaching as a Profession pathway. It's part of the Education and Training Career Cluster. And students that take this pathway are exploring careers in education. So what they're going to get at the end of the pathway is a great introduction to what it is to be a teacher. And if they successfully complete the pathway and the end of pathway assessment, they earn college credit for the first level teaching course at a Georgia public university or college. They have experience in the classroom, my classroom, and then they also go out into classrooms in the high school, elementary, and middle schools in the county and work as interns and teacher assistants in those classes. So they really get an immersion in the classroom from the perspective of the teacher rather than just being a student. They see what it's like to be on the other end of it, and they really get a good taste for whether or not this is something that they want to do long term.
The early childhood program is for students that are interested in teaching in preschool or in a public school setting or any of those. They learn about child development and strategies for working with children, and actually have a hands-on lab that they get to work in.
I learned how to do lesson plans. I learned how to deal with kids who didn't behave properly. I like being able to teach them. I like being such a big part of their life. And it showed me that there's more behind little kids than what you see. I chose this pathway because I wanted to be such a big part of someone's life and know that I did something right for somebody and I taught them something, and that they can always look back and say, she helped me a lot, she did so much for me, she taught me something.
It's a really great course to take if you're thinking about being a teacher. Even if you're unsure about being a teacher, take the course.
You get to learn a lot that teachers do, and it opens your eyes that teachers don't just teach, they do a lot more.
You have to have a passion for it. You can't just walk into a class and be like, oh, this is just another class in high school. It's gonna just give you the good grade.
It's a great pathway, and we've had students that have done really well and went on to be teachers already in the county. But we've also had students that do this and they say, I do not want to be in the classroom. I know now, after taking this class, that it's not something that I want to do. So it's a great opportunity for them to weed out careers that they're not interested in. So I just think it's a great all-around pathway for students.
Our goal is to make young people better citizens, but we try to give them the skills to be successful in whatever they wish to pursue after high school. So whether it's the military, whether it's college, going to the workforce, we're going to give them different means to accomplish what they want to do. And we try to do that pretty much through time management skills, financial planning skills. We have skills in leadership, so they have hands-on experience in class where they're leaders, where they're squad leaders, they're platoon leaders, platoon sergeants, and they administer to other cadets, so they're in charge. And we monitor them, but they're the ones running things, and we try to do that throughout the program. If you go into junior ROTC, you do not have a military obligation. So if you go in We're not going to force you to go into the military, the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, whatever. In fact, probably fewer than 20% of cadets in our program actually join the military service after high school. That gives them an advantage because they know what they're going into. But for some kids, it's fun. They just like to do it for high school years and get out of it. So that's a big misconception that if you join ROTC, we're going to draft you or we throw your name to recruiters or whatever. No, we don't do that.
So when I came into ROTC, at first I was a sophomore. I was really shy. I mean, you couldn't get me to answer a question to a teacher. And so I joined the program, and as I got more involved with it and started joining teams, doing extracurricular activities, it really brought me out of my shell. And as I worked my way through the program, I came to where I am now, and it's definitely been an enjoyable ride.
Some of the other options we have in ROTC are extracurricular activities. We have the Raider team. It's not a varsity sport, but we do compete with other schools in the area, and there is a state competition and a national competition. It's very strenuous, and probably those cadets go through harder workouts than probably any sports team that we have in the high school. The drill team, again, we go through regional competitions, we do state competitions, and there's the opportunity to go national competitions. Again, a little bit broader expanse, but it's where they do drill and ceremony, so they march. And so that's a lot of things where you see ROTC cadets on campus that wear the uniform and they're marching. That's probably what those teams are doing.
The main part of the experience I enjoy is the extracurriculars and the teams. I'm on the rifle team, the color guard, and the drill team. And the amount of time we spend dedicated to building teamwork and practicing, and the satisfaction you get of going to competitions and bringing home trophies, it's just a fantastic experience. That's really how you get a lot of the joy out of ROTC.
There's academic opportunities and scholarship opportunities and things like that, but also the fact that everybody in this program is a family, and you unite as one, just like any other team, or football or soccer or cheerleading, everything. You just come together as one, and that's probably the best thing that you could get out of this.
Some of the benefits we can provide for them are options. When I came in and started teaching 3 years ago, I was kind of amazed by how many students weren't planning for what their careers were going to be after high school. And so in ROTC, we explore those options. And so through the 3 years, the 4 years, depending on how many years they take, we try to broaden their horizons and give them more options to do, whether it be the military, college, the workforce, and we try to give them steps to achieve those goals wherever they want to go.
We have 3 levels. The first level is introducing them to healthcare in general. We find the basics about the history. The second level, we start to do a little more hands-on. We learn all the vital signs, blood pressure, temperature, respiration, height and weight. And that's wonderful because that's the basics of if they go into any type of healthcare field, they're going to need to know that.
I personally want to pursue physical therapy, and you are learning the different techniques of how to lift patients from wheelchairs and from beds, which is important, every day in the field.
It's really fun, and I think I'm probably going to do it for a career.
They're learning how to be nursing assistants, so they get bathing, they get patient care, they get how to shave a patient. I mean, it's really in-depth and a lot of fun, and I would recommend it to anyone who's even thinking about getting into any of the healthcare fields.
It basically prepares people for a career in sports medicine, whether it is athletic training, to be an orthopedic surgeon or just an orthopedic physician, massage therapy, anything with a hands-on orthopedic type of career.
And I like that it was hands-on. We have these things called practicals, where we kind of test different tests on each other. So does this hurt? How does this feel? The name of the test and what it tests for.
Some of my students in this pathway are also my student athletic trainers. So what they're using here, or what they're learning here in the classroom, they're able to put into practice out at football and basketball and soccer and all of those sports.
If you're a hands-on learner, then you're going to have a lot of fun. It's not just writing, taking notes, and listening to teachers talk at you. You're actually touching, listening, talking back, having a conversation.
So if they want to go to college and become an athletic trainer, they've already got hands-on experience. They've got the knowledge where their coursework would be a lot easier in college. If they wanted to go be a medical assistant, they've already have some background knowledge. So basically a lot of things in the medical field specifically geared towards orthopedics, this would prepare them for.
Biotechnology draws from many other disciplines such as chemistry, biology, engineering, and physics. Students in this pathway should expect hands-on experience, sort of exploring these concepts through lab-based activities involving much of the equipment that is available for this pathway.
Many of the people who want to pursue this pathway are really interested in math and science and things like chemistry, so this would be an amazing pathway for those people.
We're able to do things that just aren't done anywhere else in the state and even many places in the country,
And I think it's an opportunity that I'm very proud of being able to say that I have, and that I will definitely look back on in the future as being very useful to me in my later life.
The biotechnology pathway will help to prepare students for college and careers beyond high school. They will gain many practical experiences that they'll use later in life. For example, in this pathway, students are running electrophoresis, they're using pipetters, they're cultivating bacteria, they're culturing cells, they're imaging PCRs, they're amplifying DNA, and these are, again, skills that will be utilized later on in life, in college and even beyond. Students in this pathway have an opportunity to culminate their lab activities in a research report that is modeled after peer-reviewed journals and scientific publications. So they have, again, an experience beginning to learn how to write and set up a scientific paper that would pretty much model what they'll do later on in college and beyond.
So there's 3 classes. There's an intro class, there's a culinary 1 class, and a culinary 2 class. The intro class is the basics, they learn the fundamentals, and then they go into culinary 1 where they get more hands-on in the kitchen. And pretty much what I do with my culinary 2 class is I have them create a restaurant from beginning to end, so they get more of the management side of culinary arts as well as the actually cooking, being in the kitchen. With these classes, they are able to go into prep cook positions once they leave. There's 3 classes they have to take. The end of pathway final, and with the end of pathway final, it actually can get them a certification for a prep cook position. Intro is a basics, the fundamentals. They don't have as much kitchen time as they do classroom time, and they do get in the kitchen some, but it's not as often as they would like to. And I really want them to understand that if they hang in there and they make it through intro, that once they get into the Culinary 1 program, they're in the kitchen once a week at least. I think the biggest benefit is that even if they don't want to be in the culinary industry, that they learn how to cook. They learn the proper way to do things, how to hold a knife, knife cuts. They can watch TV and say, hey, I know what's going on here.
In 1 and 2 culinary, I learned a lot more. We were in the kitchen all the time. I learned, hands-on like knife cuts, and I learned the difference between dry measuring and liquid measuring and like how to use those differences, because I definitely mess those up all the time.
If you like cooking, or if you want to know more about the art of cooking, then it's definitely worth it.
It's very hands-on, it's not always reading in the textbook, and you get to learn by experience.
It's actually a lot more fun than what people would think. It was something that I didn't think I would like at first, and then, like I said, once I got in the class, it just stuck with me.
It's such a fun class. You get to create your own restaurant and stuff like that, so I definitely would encourage them to.
The Sports and Entertainment Marketing Program is a program where students take the skills and knowledge they learn in marketing principles and gear it towards the sports and entertainment industries. They pretty much learn how to market anything from sports teams to anything entertainment-wise, just anything along the sports and entertainment lines. As far as after high school, I know a lot of the students here want to go and continue in trying to get a sports agent type job or career in the future. They'll take marketing principles as the beginning course, and then they would go into intro to sports and entertainment marketing, and then advanced sports and entertainment marketing would be after that. Some of the projects, they work on promotion and advertising type projects a good bit. That's their kind of semester-long projects that they work on. That's the big ones. And that's where they actually pair up with a local sports or entertainment type of business and do a promotional campaign or an advertising campaign for them. That's kind of the biggest projects they work on. Really, any student, either if they're a student athlete or if they're wanting to go into the business industry in sports or entertainment, they really get a behind-the-scenes knowledge of the marketing and business side of sports and entertainment industry. So that's a huge benefit for them, going in anywhere they go after high school.
The cosmetology program covers all realms of the curriculum. We study massage, facials, we do hairstyling, we do hair coloring, we do permanent waving, and lots of massage, lots of nails, lots of toenails.
One of the benefits that I really enjoy is that you're able to take those classes here, but you earn hours at the same time. So basically, there's 1,500 hours to complete beauty school. But if the student they don't want to necessarily go to college right off, or they want to have a type of skill or a trade, this is a great program for them because they can earn up to 450 hours toward beauty school. So in the past, we've had some students that had the most amount of hours, let's say 430, 450 hours that they've earned here in school. And they were able to take those hours onto one of the beauty schools. And they actually were able to finish school in 7 months, and some of them actually went on in the spring semester. They had their license, they were 18 years old and enrolled in college. So now instead of them having to take other jobs that they may not care about necessarily, they can actually charge real salon prices because they're licensed.
It's hard work, but it's real fun and it's going to help you in the long run.
Interior design is a new pathway, and we offer 3 different classes in interior design. There are 3 levels. And some of the things that the students learn are the elements of design, principles of design, and how to apply those things in an actual craft activity. It helps the students learn life skills, and if they're interested in this pathway, they can go on and further their education.
It's definitely a fun class. You actually get to do crafts about all the stuff for like a room. So basically, if you were taking this class, you could learn basically how to redo your whole house, because I mean, you're learning about the colors and you're learning about how to put the house together and everything.
I've learned how to like sand tables. I've never thought that you'd use power tools in this class, but it's pretty fun.
Students that take this pathway can either go into an interior design field. They can be a designer, they could become a decorator. Some of the jobs that are included are things like set decorator for movies or commercials, things like that. They can also go into their own business. They can also work in furniture stores where they're designing floor plans for clients and customers. There's a wide variety of things that they can choose.
So Introduction to Digital Technology is a course that provides an introduction to all areas of technology, including hardware, software, computer networking, web page design, digital media design, and they also have an opportunity to earn Microsoft certifications in that course when we do the software unit. The digital media course covers everything that would go into a web page. So your photography and photography editing, your digital video and video editing, web page design using Adobe software, and other media elements such as sound or applications that would go into a website. The web page design course students use Adobe Dreamweaver, Flash, Fireworks, and Photoshop to develop industry standard web pages. There are so many careers that could stem from this pathway in terms of game design, web page design, digital design. There's so much in medical related to technology with 3D animation design, manufacturing 3D animation and design. So the students get a taste for designing projects related to the real world that could take them in multiple areas depending upon their interests.
So far, I've learned a whole lot of skills that will be pretty useful later on in life, and they've helped to improve the quality of the work I've had. But I've had a lot of fun doing it so far.
If you look around in the world, we're getting more and more advanced, and that technology comes with that. So if you take this class, you're more likely to understand all that newer technology, which will help you in the future.
Well, Future Business Leaders of America is the co-curricular organization related to the pathway, and students in FBLA are able to complete projects that they enter in for competition. So there's a web page development project, application development project, digital design projects. There's at least 10 different events that are directly related to the pathway. So students who join FBLA are able to compete, and they can also create projects related to the school. If teachers need help with web pages, we have our FBLA website that students contribute to, so they have some hands-on application for real world. Students should choose the pathway because technology is really involved in almost every career, whether you're directly working with technology or you're working with someone in your office or medical field with technology. Having that knowledge or hands-on experience with technology will really give them a foot into the door for any careers. The Microsoft certifications, Adobe certifications, and just the overall knowledge of technology will help them as they transition from school into the world of work.
Within this pathway, we have 3 separate classes. Our first one is the Introduction to Law, Public Safety and Security. And with that one, it's basically an intro to the whole criminal justice system. We talk about fire, we talk about the court systems, how it works, what happens from the time someone is arrested all the way through sentencing and corrections.
It's exciting that these kids are going to be able to be certified as CERT responders, where they can take the training that they received and go out in the community and serve in disaster relief and things like that.
We delve further into just the criminal justice system, really talk about the court system. They participate in a lot of mock trials. They practice on being the judge, the prosecutor, the defense attorney. They also learn what it is to prepare opening statements and closing statements. They also work more on the policing aspect, so they do a lot with vehicle pullovers, traffic accidents, the handcuffing protocols, approach and arrest of suspects. So it's just a more in-depth to the first year class. And then our third year class is criminal investigations, and it really is, the focus is what do you do at a crime scene? So from start to finish for the sketches and how do you photograph and how do you collect evidence. So we go over all the different types of trace evidence. They work with blood spatter, they work with fingerprinting, they learn how to collect fingerprints, dust fingerprints. They also work with DNA and how does it work and breaking it down to be able to match up to suspects. So they really bring a lot of science into the third year class with how do you, not only do you collect the evidence, but then how do you process the evidence as well, and what is everybody's role and responsibility. Then they have the opportunity to participate in work-based learning. So we have students in the county who are at the DA's office interning. We have some with different attorneys' offices that do internships. We have several different kids that are at the Sheriff's Department. Some are at the training center, and some are at the Sheriff's Department themselves. Depending on what their focus is, if they want to be more in the medical field with the EMS, then they have the ability to also work with Tanner Medical. And a lot of our students who actually have those different internships have been able to keep their jobs there. So not only is it preparing them for, you know, depending on what their goal is, whether it's to be an attorney or to be a police officer or to be a fire EMT, that a lot of those kids, if they can get in there with those internships, then a lot of them are able to hold down their jobs. Some of them that have been placed with attorneys' offices have even stayed on with that attorney's office, and they have helped them with college. They've given them scholarships as well. So it's a great opportunity for our kids with our criminal justice pathway.
If you're into law, you like different types of law, you like forensics, you want to be a lawyer or anything like that, you want to be a firefighter or a policeman, this would be the class for you.
It's getting them to buy into the importance of the criminal justice system and what can we do for them. Because so many times they come in here and they don't really know, how does the law affect me? You know, why is this important? But by the time that they leave, they understand, you know, why is it that, you know, you have the right to refuse for somebody to search your car? You know, how do administrative searches work at a school? So they learn a lot of different things that apply to them, and it's giving them those real world life experiences that are important to them to be able to know as a teenager.
Marketing is everywhere. We see marketing in the grocery stores. We see marketing, you know, as you're going down the road. So it is everywhere. So you can't deny that marketing is not an important pathway to take. I always start out the class by saying, how do you market yourself? How do you brand yourself? And I believe that this class kind of really helps them get that experience of marketing things and marketing themselves more often than they think. When you go into a job interview, your first impression is really your only impression to begin with, and then they get to know you. But if you don't go in there and market yourself appropriately, then you're not going to have that experience with that job.
A lot of it helps with
like running a business and being a part of a business. It helps with like career opportunities and just knowing how to properly conduct an interview and small stuff like that.
The marketing program has really allowed me to network myself better. Whenever I joined as a freshman, I was very awkward, and it's just allowed me to meet other people and talk to other people a lot better and just get myself out there.
Pretty much all the programs in the county, the marketing programs, are going to have a school-based enterprise where students have the opportunity to work in a school store, work in like a retail setting, other students as their customers, and so they're learning basic, pricing, customer service.
The Rare Trader, if you're in the marketing program and you're in DECA, you get to work in here, and it is a grade, so it's not just fun, but it also helps you learn on-hand experience with students and customers. And
sometimes in math, kids will say, why are we learning this? How is this going to help me in life? But I know that right now, for instance, we're learning about insurance, and I know that this is going to help me in life. Knowing about my copay and my deductible, like that's interesting to me because I'm actually going to be using that.
We have just been industry certified, so our industry through the American Marketing Association and the Georgia Department of Education just came through and did interviews with our students through the pathway that have completed the pathway or are currently in the pathway. And it just basically gives them the edge, the fact that they know how to market events, market products, and how to sell. With our school-based enterprise here, the Raider Trader, they are able to go and actually sell things and do things that they would do in a store.
It made me more interested in owning my own business with entrepreneurship, just because I got to see the benefits of that.
So I really think that marketing does help students gain the the edge over other applicants for jobs, especially when they have the marketing pathway.
We offer the pre-engineering program as well as the pre-architecture program. And the pre-engineering program focuses on technical drafting, pre-architecture, architecture. It's a great program in that the initial class, the Intro to Engineering, teaches them the basics of technical drawing. So they learn how to draw section views, auxiliary views. So they actually take what they learn in those first classes and then they begin to develop things.
We don't just work out of the book, we get different challenges. So we have to kind of figure things out for ourselves sometimes, so that'll kind of prepare me to be on my own.
So it really gives them, in both cases, an opportunity to really see what engineers and architects do and if that's a field that they would be interested in.
Each high school has an automotive program, which is now transportation, logistics, and support. Under that, guys, is the basic maintenance and light repair 1, 2, and 3. Generally, the students take the first part of the program for a year-long traditional kind of class for 55 minutes for the first year. We do a variety of hands-on, of course. We do take the students into the shop. We have most of the shops here in Paulding County have a 4-bay garage. We can supply real live work as well as trainers and demonstrations that we can do with each of the students and can repeat those kinds of things. That way we can make sure that all students get through and master each task. It covers the entire vehicle's frame, electrical, brakes, steering, suspension, the computerized portion of the vehicle, the engine, the transmissions, and so on. From this program, they can go on to post-secondary. They can go on to a 4-year college for engineering or whatnot. There are many schools that come and recruit for our programs, and most of the seniors can find work if they wish to do that here locally and as well as in the state and in country. It's very much in demand. We have industry standards, of course. We're certified nationally here. We are also excited about the fact that we have end of pathway tests, which are the industry standard testing that I would have to take as an instructor. The student versions are for 2 years, our versions are for 5. With different passing levels, of course, but they can take those certificates into the workforce and use those to gain a job. We need people to replace all the folks that are my age or a little older that are in the industry currently that will be retiring in the next few years. There will be a large void of trained personnel in our industry. So that's very important for us to keep feeding that system to get more people on board with automotive training. So,
whether you're going to be a mechanic or not, if you plan on driving an automobile in the future, this class definitely teaches you the basics on what you should know.
It actually helps a lot more than you think. A lot of people think, oh, it's auto, it's a slack class, you can chill. It's really not. You learn a lot in this class, and it's fun too.
These careers that we can teach at this level can lead into everything from the dealership level to the independent shops. The fleet garages also like to have students come into those and work. Many of my seniors and juniors have current jobs in the industry. They call me from time to time for interview over the phone, or they ask for references. So we're proud to be able to put the workforce out there that we can train at this level.